Harold Benton, 72 years old and recently retired, stood in the middle of his driveway staring at a gleaming, oversized RV named Wanderlust. It was roughly the size of a small aircraft carrier. "Are you sure this thing isn't nuclear-powered?" his best friend George asked. Sipping coffee from a thermos labeled "Number 1 Grandpa," even though he had no children, let alone grandkids. "Got it off Craigslist. A steal," Harold said proudly. "It's got satellite dishes, plural, and a massage chair. Wanna try?" "I don't trust a chair that vibrates more than my wife's old hair dryer." The plan was simple: 2 best friends, 1 giant RV, and a 2-week road trip across the American Southwest. No itinerary, no obligations, just dusty highways, bad diner food, and whatever strange roadside attractions they stumbled across. It had been Harold's retirement dream. George, who had retired 10 years earlier, had been dreaming of staying home in his recliner. But Harold had been persistent. "Don't make me drag you out with a cane," Harold had said. George reluctantly agreed, partly out of loyalty and partly because his recliner had recently broken. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Day 1. Leaving suburbia. As they pulled out of the neighborhood, Harold gave a dramatic wave to Mrs. Donnelly, who was watering her azaleas. "Going on a journey, Doris," he yelled. She squinted. "You forgot to put your garbage bins out again." With George navigating using an old paper atlas, GPS is a government tracking tool, he insisted. They were off toward Arizona. Their first stop? A town called Pie Town, New Mexico. "You're making that up," George said. "I swear. It's real. They have a pie festival. I don't trust any town named after a dessert." "What's next? Cheesecakeville? Blank. Underscore. Blank. Day 3. Pie Town and Pie Regret. Pie Town was indeed real. Quaint, dusty, and filled with people who took baking very seriously. Harold, hungry from 6 hours of driving and one heated argument about whether to listen to Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson, ordered 3 slices of pie, apple, pecan, and something called green chili peach. 30 minutes later, he lay groaning on a picnic bench outside. "I regret nothing," he mumbled. George, more conservative, had only ordered 1 slice of coconut cream and was currently flirting with a waitress named Ruby who had a laugh like a motorcycle engine. "She called me sugar and winked," he said. "I think I've still got it." "You've still got heartburn," Harold replied. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Day 5. Trouble in Paradise. Somewhere near Flagstaff, disaster struck. George was driving while Harold napped in the back. A sudden jolt woke him up. "What was that?" Harold asked, stumbling forward. "We hit something." "You hit something?" "It was a small mailbox. Maybe 2. They pulled over. The RV had a new dent and what appeared to be part of someone's newspaper sticking out of the bumper. "Well, it's official," Harold said. "We're fugitives. No one saw. I bet that squirrel saw." They decided to lay low. That meant no more Pie Town festivals, no more tourist traps, and no selfies in front of the world's largest ball of yarn. "I wanted that yarn photo," Harold grumbled. "You'll live. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Day 7. The ghost town of Destiny Gulch. By the 1-week mark, the men were tired, smelly, and out of peanut butter crackers. They stumbled upon a map showing an abandoned mining town called Destiny Gulch. "This looks like the perfect place to not be found by angry mailbox owners," George said. The town had a fake sheriff's office, a general store museum, and a tour guide named Caleb who had 2 teeth and infinite stories. "You boys from the big city?" Caleb asked. "We're from Mesa," Harold said. Caleb nodded solemnly. "Close enough." They signed up for the ghost tour. George brought snacks. Harold brought a flashlight the size of a baguette. By 10 p.m., they were half lost, half spooked, and laughing so hard George nearly dropped his trail mix. "I think that ghost had a cowboy hat," Harold whispered. "That was your reflection." "Oh." They slept in the RV under the stars and agreed. This was better than recliners and daytime reruns. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Day 10. Gas. Guitars. And glory. The RV ran out of gas 12 miles outside of Sedona. George. Blaming Harold for ignoring the gauge, "I thought that was the temperature." It had an E and an F. Flagged down a biker gang called the Hell's Hiccups. Despite the intimidating name, they turned out to be retired schoolteachers on a motorcycle club reunion ride. "We teach yoga on Wednesdays." Their leader, Big Dottie, told them as she helped siphon gas into the tank. "And poker on Fridays." They invited Harold and George to their campfire that night. Someone brought out a guitar. Harold sang a shaky version of "Ring of Fire." George played spoons. Big Dottie cried. Everyone clapped. That night, the 2 friends lay in their RV bunks. "We're in a biker gang now," George whispered. "Do we need tattoos? Maybe a temporary one. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Day 13. Almost home. As they rolled back into their home state, both men were quieter. The RV was dusty. The chip bags were empty. And Harold's favorite socks had gone missing somewhere between Utah and Nevada. George looked out the window. "So what now?" "Back to the recliner, I guess," Harold said. They paused. "Nah," George said. "We've got a poker night on Friday with the Hiccups. And I still haven't seen the giant yarn ball." They looked at each other and grinned. "Next month?" Harold asked. George nodded. "Only if you agree to let me drive." "Fine. But no more mailboxes. Blank. Underscore. Blank." 1 month later. Back on the road. New snacks. New routes. And matching trucker hats that said, "Rolling Fossils." They never found Harold's socks. But they did find something even better. Proof that life didn't stop at 60, or even 70. There were still pies to eat, songs to sing, ghosts to meet, and wild roads to travel. As the RV rumbled down the highway, the 2 old friends raised their travel mugs in a toast. "To freedom," Harold said. "To friendship," George replied. And somewhere, far off in the distance, the Hell's Hiccups revved their engines in approval.